Have you ever noticed that some people don't just show up on time, they show up early? Like they're sitting in the parking lot 10 minutes before anyone else has even left their house. There's something strange about this behavior, because society praises punctuality, yet we all secretly wonder, why are they really here so early? Are they incredibly organized, or quietly anxious, confident, or avoiding something they don't want you to see? It seems simple on the surface. But the psychology underneath? It's far more complicated than anyone expects. So here's the real question. What kind of mind arrives early, and what does that reveal about you? You arrive early. Not because you are bored. Not because you have nothing better to do. But because something inside you whispers, be there first. You know the feeling well. You pull into the empty parking lot. You walk into the quiet room. And for a few moments, those rare, precious moments, you have the world entirely to yourself. But here's the thing. Most people don't think about what this actually means. They see you as the responsible one, the organized one, the reliable one. And sure, that's part of it. But the psychology behind this runs deeper. Much deeper. 1. Surface level observations. On the surface, arriving early looks like a simple habit. You don't like rushing. You don't want to keep people waiting. You want to feel prepared. And yes, those things are true. But they are not the full story. Ask yourself, why do I need to be prepared? Why do I need to avoid rushing? Why does being early feel safer than being exactly on time? These questions touch something quieter, something softer, something older. Music. 2. Hidden complexity. Because here's the truth. People who always arrive early often aren't chasing punctuality. They are chasing certainty. And this is where it gets complex. When you arrive early, you control the environment before the environment can control you. You choose the seat. You decide how you are perceived. You avoid the awkwardness of walking in late and every head turning toward you. It's not about being extra responsible. It's about managing your emotional landscape. And if you look closely, there's a quiet paradox here. You show up early so you never have to feel like you've arrived too late. Because late isn't just a time on a clock. Late is an identity you've worked your whole life to avoid. 3. The deeper psychology. Let's peel back the layers. People who consistently arrive early tend to share certain psychological patterns. A. Hyper-responsibility. You carry an internal weight that most people don't see. You feel responsible for other people's comfort, time, and expectations. Even when no one told you to be this way, something inside you insists. Don't be the one who disappoints. This often traces back to childhood dynamics, especially in homes where you had to manage emotions that weren't yours. Not always dysfunction. Sometimes simply unpredictability. But in those spaces, you learned a truth you still live by. Being prepared keeps you safe. B. Attachment patterns. Attachment theory plays a quiet role here. If you grew up with inconsistent emotional signals, warmth one moment, distance the next, you may have developed an internal strategy. Anticipate, prepare, please. Arriving early becomes part of that strategy. You position yourself where surprises can't catch you, where disappointment can't sneak up behind you. It's subtle, it's invisible, but it's there. See, anxiety hidden in discipline. But here's what's fascinating. Many early arrivers don't feel anxious, at least not in the dramatic, shaky hands sense. Instead, their anxiety hides inside structure, routine, and discipline. You might say, I just like being prepared. But the truth is, preparation is how you avoid the sensation of uncertainty. It's how you stay ahead of the world. It's how you keep the ground steady under your feet. Because silence? For you, silence is not emptiness. It's control. Music. 4. Specific scenarios. Visualization. Picture this. You are meeting a friend for coffee. They say, let's meet at 3. At 2:45, you are already parked nearby. At 2:50, you are inside, choosing the table. At 2:57, you are glancing at the door. You are not impatient. You are not judging them. You are simply prepared. Now contrast that with the person who walks in at 3:07, breathless, apologizing, laughing it off. You don't resent them. But part of you quietly thinks, how can you live like that? Doesn't the uncertainty bother you? That moment says everything about the differences in your internal worlds. 5. Social perception versus inner reality. People assume early arrivals are confident, strong, put together. But here's what's really happening. You are managing your emotional environment before anyone else steps into it. You are not trying to impress anyone. You are not trying to outperform anyone. You are simply trying to prevent overwhelm. It's not a performance. It's a strategy that became instinct. 6. The paradoxes. And this is where it gets interesting. You arrive early so you don't inconvenience others, but half the time, you worry you're inconveniencing yourself. You arrive early because you respect people's time, but you often forget to respect your own. You arrive early to feel calm, but the waiting sometimes creates its own quiet tension. Your habits soothe you and stress you at the exact same time. 7. Neuropsychology and mirror systems. Let's go deeper. Research on mirror neurons shows that your brain automatically simulates the states of people around you. So if someone else is stressed, flustered, or hurrying, you feel it in your body, too. Arriving early reduces this emotional contamination. You get to settle your nervous system before absorbing anyone else's energy. It's your way of saying, let me be grounded before the world pulls me in. 8. Control versus peace. But the truth is, for many early arrivers, the goal isn't control. It's peace. But control is the path you've learned to take to reach that peace. You don't want to dominate a situation. You want to soften it. You want to walk into a room that's already familiar, already safe, already quiet. Because for you, peace is not the absence of chaos. Peace is the presence of readiness. Music. 9. The long-term consequences. So what happens over time? Positive impacts. People trust you. You build a reputation for reliability. You experience less external stress. You move through life with a kind of quiet steadiness. These are gifts, not flaws. But there are hidden costs too. Hidden burdens. You hold yourself to a standard others don't. You feel guilty when you aren't early. You hide your stress behind punctuality. You rarely allow yourself to rest because it feels like slipping. Arriving early becomes part of your identity, but sometimes it becomes part of your pressure, too. 10. Why this behavior exists. So why do you arrive early? Because it protects you. Because it expresses your care. Because it gives you a moment of breathing room in a world that constantly demands something from you. Because somewhere deep inside, you learned that being early keeps things from falling apart. And maybe, just maybe, you are trying to give others the safety you never always had. 11. Gentle reframes. But here's the hopeful part. Arriving early isn't a flaw. It isn't a symptom of brokenness. It isn't a sign of weakness. It's a strategy your mind built to take care of you. A strategy that worked. A strategy that still works. But now you get to decide how tightly you want to hold it. You get to decide whether being early is a gift or a burden. A comfort or a constraint. You get to choose what you keep and what you loosen. 12. Moments of quiet revelation. Maybe the biggest revelation is this. You don't arrive early because you fear others. You arrive early because you value them. And because deep down, you are trying to value yourself, too. Your punctuality is not about perfection. It's about presence. It's about showing up for the world, yes, but also for yourself. And maybe that's the real story. So let's circle back. Have you ever noticed how the people who always arrive early often carry a quiet tenderness beneath their discipline? As if their punctuality is a love language. A way of saying, you matter. This matters. And I want to be ready for it. If that's you, here's your validation. There's nothing strange about the way you show up. Your early arrival is not overthinking. It's not insecurity. It's not something to apologize for. It's a reflection of a heart that prepares for others. A mind that anticipates. A spirit that cares deeply. But remember this, too. You get to arrive for yourself. Not just early. Not just prepared. But fully. Let your timing be an expression of compassion, not pressure. Let your presence be enough, no matter when you walk into the room. And in the quiet moments before the world catches up, know this. You are not early because you fear being late. You are early because you are learning to honor your own pace. A pace the world may not always understand. But one that is entirely, beautifully yours.